Repair rifts right away. Welcome to day 104 of our Supersize You annual challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Make a sip of coffee. Today we're talking about how do we get over and resolve fights, arguments, disagreements, conflict, rifts. What else do you call problems or fights that you have with other people, or disagreements with other people? We talked about disagreements yesterday, and that kind of waters down actually the emotion that goes along with such situations. I'm talking about an actual fight or a discussion that goes the wrong way, or somebody's feelings got hurt, and what do you do to repair that and fix that? I'm a fixer, so I try to fix everything right away, but not always right away. I've learned I have a pattern of behavior as well in terms of when there's a conflict and what I do about it and how long I wait and if I address it or not. So today we're talking about how do we reach out and repair those situations to make sure that the relationship stays intact. Sometimes the relationship's worth it and we will choose to repair it. That's what we're going to talk about today. Other times, guess what? The right answer for you and your sanity and your peace of mind and for everything else for your life is to not repair it and to walk away. I've had a couple of instances in my life, and people come into our life for a season and a reason and a time period. Some of them are just to be in our face and show us that we're a whole lot more capable than we think we are, and they'll usually do that in a negative way. Negative feedback, haters, people that put us down or don't treat us with respect are all just a reflection of them, not of us. And when we can remember that, they don't face us anymore. They just bounce right off. I used to put a little bubble of protection around myself, I would call it, especially in situations that stretch my comfort zone, because I knew I was likely to face rejection. I was likely to get criticized. I was likely to be put down in some way, shape, or form. And I wanted to make sure that I protected me and my being and my heart and my soul from those type of hurts, because some hurts are surface and they don't really matter to us. I mean, if somebody speaks harshly to you at work on any given day or on a particular day, is that really something that you should internalize and use to create a bunch of negative self-talk? I contend no. So let's talk about a couple of scenarios where this would play out. You have a disagreement or an argument or a knockdown, drag out fight with your significant other, and you don't want to go to bed angry. Why? Because if you go to bed angry and if you wait too long, guess what? Rifts like that, things that were said in the heat of the moment, can cause irreparable damage to the relationship. So if it's a relationship that's important to you, I think that it's sage advice. You don't want to go to bed angry, because then both of you are just laying there thinking about what you should have said or could have said, or how wrong the other person is, and judging. And that never helps us to get the resolution that we need and want in our relationships. At least I haven't seen it work out in a positive way. So think of a situation where you've had that happen. Maybe it was at work where you're in a staff meeting and somebody totally cut you off and didn't let you speak, right? That's something that probably needs to be addressed with that person, you and that person one-on-one after the meeting. Sometimes things happen and we get our feelings hurt and the other party does not even know it, because that's just the way they are, and we make excuses for them. I have a person in my family where we just make excuses for them because that's just the way they are. We love them, but we hate the behavior. Anybody have relationships like that? Of course, we probably all do. So conflict's inevitable, right? I don't know. I like to think I'm a pretty peaceful person, but I have conflicts too. We all do, because we all see the world through our own lens, through our own experiences, through our own thoughts, feelings, beliefs, core values. And that means no two of us are the same, and we're going to disagree about things. So how can we go about disagreeing in a way that respects the other person? And if we do cross that line and hurt somebody's feelings and think it might damage the relationship, how do we repair that? How do we fix that? I'd like to call this one the fix it scenario, the fix it strategy. But we just need to think about and reach out. I say, if you have had one of these situations in the last 24 hours and the relationship matters to you, you want to reach out to the other person in 24 hours and say, hey, I know that was a tough conversation. I know that was hard. It was hard on me and it was hard on you, but I value our relationship. So can we talk about this and find a way to move forward? That's all you have to do. You're not apologizing for your part in it, but if you owe them an apology, you could do that too, right? That's probably the first step. If you said something that you wish you hadn't said, you just need to tell the other person that. Because I think we've all been there at certain times in our life and in different relationships, right? Depending on how old you are, you've probably had thousands, if not tens of thousands, of different types of relationships throughout your lifetime. And this applies to all types of relationships, right? If the relationship is important to you, you're going to find a way to fix it. You're going to find a way to repair it. And you're going to find out really quickly if it's important to the other person or not. I think back in the days when we all got crushes on people, we'd have a crush on somebody and then we'd find out they didn't like us too, and we'd have our feelings hurt, and then we just move on and have a crush on somebody else. Sometimes that works, some periods of our life, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the relationship is too important and we need to figure it out. So today, think about a couple of things and then share in the comments below do you believe that addressing conflict is something you should do right away or quickly, or giving the other person some space? And I will answer this. For me, I'd say it's situational. It depends on the relationship. It depends on what I want for an outcome. It depends on how hurt I am or the other person is. I can usually let go of hurt pretty rapidly. Other people, not so much. Some people hold grudges and you have to give them a week before you even pick up the phone, because you know the person. So you know what the right timing is for them. In our most important relationships, we absolutely positively know that. If we don't think we know it on the surface, we can just tap in and ask ourselves, okay, how long do I need to give Sharon before she comes around? I'm a very quick decision maker and a quick turnaround and a quick emotional changer. So for me, it's pretty much, you can talk to me right away and I might say, okay, nope, I need another 10 minutes or something. But for the most part, I don't like having conflict or negative emotions hanging around, or negative situations hanging around in my life at all anymore. Been there, done that too many times. And I know the absolute positive toll that it takes on me, not only mentally, but emotionally, physically, spiritually. It eats away at me, not because of anything the other person did or said, but because I don't want that negative influence in my life at all. I'm getting too old for it. That's what I say when I don't want to deal with anything more. I'm getting too old for this. It's true. So it's a great statement. So share in the comments below. Do you believe in resolving quickly, or do you just let it take its own sweet time? And then my other question is, are you quick to apologize and try to repair the relationship and keep the relationship going? Or do you just blow it off and say, nah, a lot of people out there, I can make another friend or whatever? Share in the comments below so we can learn from one another. That is our topic for today. I'm sure I could speak more eloquently on it if I gave myself longer, but I've got a bunch of calls to make today. So I'm going to get to that. I'm going to wish you an amazing day. If I can help you in any way, reach out and ask. Otherwise, do this today. Ask yourself if you've got that. Get in touch with who you are with respect to resolving and repairing relationship and communication misunderstandings. Sometimes you said something and the other person didn't understand your intent. It didn't come across the way you intended, and that can cause big arguments and fights, depending on the volatility of the relationship. All right. Have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.